So the change are the skills that people have. Don't go on the next slide before I give a thumbs up. So they shape the way we think, life skills. They also shape the way we feel. They shape the way we act. And also life skills shape the way we relate. Behavioral change does not begin with rules. It begins with a renewed thinking, a renewed practice, and a consistent character. So as we teach life skills, there will be a renewal of thinking, practice. So we always say as we teach life skills that change your habits and change your life. Just touch yourself here. We're going to be practical and say change your habits and change your life. Say it as you mean it. Change your habits and change your life. Life skills are not mere information, they are transformation. We're not just giving you information, no. We're trying to give you something that will totally transform your life. And as we journey into the 4 cores of life skills, yes. Yes. Yeah. Mm. That's important, yeah. So life skills, we say that they balance knowledge, they balance attitude, and they also balance skills. We always go for interviews and say, this guy is so good academically, but attitude, aptitude test, attitude is not working well. The generation of bookwormers, people just read only books, no skill. Life skills help you to balance the complete person. So you have knowledge, you have skill, you have attitude. And you'll discover when we go to the mission field, multipurpose people tend to pull crowds and they tend to minister. For example, part of the skill, when I stand before young people, I pull out my guitar first. That's a skill I learned. Even when they don't want to listen, when they see me hold the guitar, everyone wants to come. Agamba chi oyo akutte guitar, agamba chi. And then sometimes I may pretend to try to play a song. Say, no, I'm going to first speak and then share a song. And everybody is eager like this. My mentor used to say, you'd rather have a dysfunctional piano there, stationed, when you're coming to speak to young people. They're not carrying anything and you're coming to speak to us. So they look forward to a skill. Young people look forward to a skill. So we said knowledge, so there is a balance of knowledge. What I know, then attitude, how I think and feel, and then skill, what I can do. Skill, what I can do. So there are so many young people that are going to be impacted by the skills that we're going to be passing on to them. Scripture union. This is what we, after years of working in life skills, this is how we define life skills. These are tools of living with oneself, with others, and with the environment. And every other thing we are going to cover tonight is just going to help you how to live with oneself. And then the second bit is living with others, and the last category is living with the environment. Haven't you gone to places and you wonder which human beings live here? People live recklessly, drink, throw in the church, then they use serviettes, they throw anywhere. Eh? People have not totally trained, they've not been totally mentored, they don't care for the environment, and every other thing about them is so messy. So life skills help to bring back that. The Go Green campaign. You bring back the environment. You redeem it because you've studied life skills. Life skills are not taught for exams. They are taught for life. I hope you remember that. We are not giving them marks. They are taught for life. And even as you're learning them, we never test marks that you're going to earn this. They are taught for life. They are heart lessons that are going to change our lives. Knowledge informs, attitude shapes, but skills will empower. Knowledge informs, that's why you learn for the head. Attitude shapes, but life skills will empower a young person. Education fuels the mind, life skills shape the person. So after the schools have filled their mind, we need someone who will shape a person. I told you I'm a father of girls. That's one of the girls. Taken, I think, 4 years ago. Now she's a teenager. Father of a teenager. Yes. Give me another slide, please. So there are 4 categories of life skills. The skills of living with oneself. Read for me the second one. Another one. And lastly, and that's where we are going to operate most. That's where we're going to operate most. Those are the categories. And for our session here, I think you'll discover that we shall only pick out 2 skills of oneself and with others. Mostly, we shall go with that. Skills of the environment can come for another day, and also decision making along the way. Maybe when you're doing what you call a career talk with young people, that one can also come through handy as we do that. Okay, do you want me to go back on that slide? I see some people taking. Do you remember them? Can you try out? There are 4 categories of life skills. One, 2, 3, go. Skills of living. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And lastly, those are the ones that we actually take in these schools. These categories reflect a total development of a human being. They will tackle the internal, the relational, they tackle the environmental, and also tackle the cognitive, the development of the brain, these life skills. So that's the general complete composure of a person. So let us start off with the common ones right away as we start off on our journey. Skills of living with oneself. For capturing the video.
I feel like your head is going to burn. So
yes. Thank you so much. Those are also skills. Yes. So, skills of living with oneself. Many young people fall under that category. And as we go to schools, we want to bring out the total person. You discover that many of our young people are struggling with living with oneself. And it has a compilation of other subtopics under skills of living with oneself. Can you try to guess some of the skills of living with oneself? You may know. You may know. Like? Okay. Taking care of myself. Okay. Give me that slide. Skills of living oneself. This dimension focuses on inner strength and emotional intelligence. Let us look at them. Marvin? Yes. So we have one of them is called self-esteem. Self-esteem. I'll talk more on that. Self-esteem, the value you attach to self. Self-esteem is the value you attach to self. Your personal worth. Your healthy profile. There are some people who don't know how to profile themselves. It's not pride, it is confidence grounded in identity. For example, by saying, I am brilliant in this, I am a little bit weaker in this. For example, my strength is public speaking and writing. I can write loads and loads of materials. When I sit in my office, I have a heap of books I have written by my own hand that reaches up here. I do that over and over and over and over again. That's my strength. Creating content and also teaching people. Low self-esteem leads to seeking approval. When people have low self-esteem, they always seek approval. And you're going to find many of these young people in schools who are seeking approval. They fear rejection. They also fear negative peer influence. While good self-esteem produces confidence without comparison. Confidence without comparison. Have you seen people who think they're ugly because they've compared themselves with someone who looks a little browner than them? I wish I had big eyes, I would be better. Me, when I was growing up, my challenge was big eyes. I've told Pastor, and they already laughed. Every time I go to my friend's place, I go, your friend with big eyes was here, and all my colleagues had small eyes apart from me. And so that low esteem, in comparison with all my friends, I felt I had low esteem than others because my eyes were big. When I would go to play football, immediately they say, Patrick, you know the number you're going to play. Do you know that number? They would tell me, you are our goalkeeper. And surely I did goalkeeping in my time very well. Why? Every time they would come to shoot and I open up my eye, they would shoot outside. Because my eyes were big. So confidence without comparison, courage without arrogance, and humility without insecurity. So that's a skill of self-esteem. And we must build it in young people so that they can also begin to have positive self-talk, that they can set goals and run after them, that they can celebrate progress and avoid comparison, these young people. I want us to say these words. It's a confession we usually make with young people as we teach them self-esteem. Just touch yourself and say, not because I am perfect, but because I am valuable. Not because I never fail, but because I always learn. Not because I am better than others, but because I respect myself. I want you to clap for yourself as well. That is self-esteem, the value attached to yourself. Now, all these other life skills are built on that big. That's the motherboard for all life skills. And tonight we shall do, I don't know whether time will allow us, to do a practical of how it happens in a real school setting as we speak value into these young people. And you see them lighting up, and many of them walk up to us and say, I feel I can become an engineer. I feel I can also do that. I feel I can identify with that. Because some of us come from broken backgrounds, and yet God, by His grace, has taken us to climb these ladders of life. Because we discovered who we are, we stepped out, picked up our self-esteem, and were able to achieve. Self-awareness now. That's the second bit that I want to talk about under life skills. Self-awareness. This helps you to know your strengths and weaknesses, your values, your emotions, and your strength. Before you could manage others, you always have to first manage yourself. When you know yourself well, you'll grow yourself. Some people don't know themselves, so they never get chance to grow themselves. But self-awareness helps you on that. There are people who know I get angry very easily, and so when you're sensing that you like to get angry, you take a walk. That means you know yourself, self-awareness. There are people who know themselves. When we are in school, I've discovered that on this village they over-advertise. They can over. Yeah. Self-awareness. In school, we had students, they learn while attending a class live. When they sit and the teacher speaks, they have picked everything. And then there are those, before they get into the notes, they never understand. They want the notes practical, and I'm among those ones. I interact with the notes, and I'm able to get the details. The teacher can talk, but I always want to interact with the teacher's content. Yes. And two, there are people, you lecture, and they pick everything. And then there are people who are visual. My wife is very visual. She keeps on saying, why can't people have an image to what they are saying so that we can identify where are the pictures? And when they attend seminars at their school and say, honey, if you were here, there was no picture. The guy spoke for 2 hours, no picture. She's a picture person. She's a picture person. Self-awareness. Do you know yourself, your strength, things you can do and what you cannot do? And then the other one is coping with stress, coping with emotions. And lastly, resilience. Now, those fall under a big category called emotional regulation. Emotional regulation. There are people whose emotions can't be regulated easily. You cannot stop emotions from coming, but you can stop them from controlling you. We always tell young people, Feel anger, but don't explode. Feel disappointment, but don't collapse. Control your emotions before your emotions control your future. So that's another topic of its own. I'm just doing an overview of what it means. Just give me another. Marvin, you're doing very well. Okay. Self awareness leads to self mastery, self awareness leads to self confidence, and self awareness leads to resilience. We must know ourselves, we must manage ourselves, and we must, uh, yes, I think, must strengthen ourselves. I hope you remember that. Leads to self mastery. When you know yourself, it leads to self mastery. When self esteem is strong, decisions are stable. When emotions are controlled, reactions are wise. That is self esteem. The value you attach to yourself. Are you able to remember? Let me pause here and just give us a minute. Just talk to somebody who's near you. What are you picking so far in those little minutes that we've just had? Just take a time. Mm. Just take off some minutes. Just talk in the groups. In those few minutes, what are you picking and what are you learning? Mm. Just take off that. Okay. Sina PC yange. Listen back. Okay. This is it. Discover some of the things and then I'll teach about the blue one on the slide. So that's why I prefer to give you a thumbs up. Okay. Are we learning something? Am I taking us very fast? Okay. I want us to share. Just share with me some of the strength that you have as an individual. What are your areas of strength? Who wants to share with us? And what are your areas you've sensed that they are weaker and needs development? Mm. Who wants to share with us? Yes, Majo. Mm. Mm. Ulabyeko mu missions when people are crossing you. I have seen people crossing Majo. Yes. Mm. 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 Wow, wow. I need to appreciate that. What are your areas of strength? Mm. Mm. Yeah, Majo is all over the place. By the way, you need to be in the mission. She's all over the place, serving. Yes, any other person? We are going to provoke many young people into these skills, but we need to start with self discovery. Us. What are your areas of strength? Mm, mm, Mm. 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 Terms. Mm. 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 Mm.
I forgot that I had put it on sigiri.
Mm.
It got burnt. So when I came back, the saucepan was black. My mom caned me. My mom caned me so badly. And I remember she was by then pregnant of my brother who follows me. I hated my mom. I kept grudges for my mom. Not until I released her, I think it was almost after 10 years. I remember the day you beat me when I had gone to get my rabbit meat because you were pregnant and you were annoyed, you had issues. It's because of that way that you made me. So I thank God that I'm being delivered. I've been delivered out of keeping grudges. Though it is there a little, but I'm in that journey. But my weakness was keeping grudge. And I realized that every time I could keep grudge and I'm not in good terms with this person, somehow my blessings were blocked. But the moment I could release someone, it's like my door of blessings, forgive someone, my door of blessings do what? Open. That was my weakness of keeping grudge.
Let's appreciate. Let's appreciate that. So, knowing your areas of strength is one of those key areas. Where are you strong? And maximize your area of strength. Of course, as when we're still young, we tend to scatter energy. We all over. You have many strength here and there, so you look a little more scattered. I tell you, as a teenager, I was scattered all over into so many giftings and so many directions. But as you grow, you keep narrowing down. Um, at a later stage now, I've narrowed down to two things. I'm discovering my giftings. Currently, I'm passionate at leadership development and family. And I know one of those two, again, I'll drop one, and my life purpose will focus on one up to the very end. But I'm so passionate to see lives change, and that's what I want to see. My area of strength is speaking and content creation. Those are my areas of strength. Let us look at the other category of skills, skills of living with others. Human beings are relational. No one succeeds alone. And under skills of living with others, we are going to look at a category that we are going to see. Okay? Let us read together. Uh-huh. One of them is friendship, formation. Then the other one is, then the other one is, and then the other one is negotiation. Those are the ones that we look at. Friendship formation. There are people who can't keep friends for a long time. If I asked you where are your friends you went with in primary school, very few of us have them. We don't sustain friends. Isn't it true? When we teach young people, I was in their school and I was doing that whole topic on friendship formation. Do you remember the types of friends? Uh-huh. Yes, yes, yes. You clap for this young man. He's very brilliant. I was in their school doing that session. Every year they invite me to speak to them. It's a window to even speak to such people. They are friends for a season. We are friends because we are studying here. The moment we leave here, no contacts, no nothing. People just go. You can't keep friends. You don't even take contacts. You just go through life without connection. Hmm? Friends for a season. Then we have friends for a reason. I love you because you still have pocket money. I love you because, yes, there is something they want from you. Hmm? And then we have friends for a lifetime. Even when they've changed and shifted and lived in another community, You'll hear one day a call when they are checking on you. Then another day they are inviting you, come and attend our friend's graduation together. You met them in primary, you finished school, and they're still your friends. Life skills teach us to make friends for a lifetime. Will you make friends for a lifetime? Will you make friends? Of course, there are people who are difficult to make our friends. Aren't they? Yes, they are good. They are good brothers who love from a distance. Then communication skills. That one is a whole topic of its own. I wonder whether this workshop is even enough. We need a whole day just doing communication. Need a whole day just sending and receiving information aimed at reaching a mutual agreement. People don't know how to communicate, even today. No wonder when they speak, their body contradicts what their words are saying. Somebody can say, we are happy to see you, but the face is still gloomy and rude. No wonder people come to our churches and they get a bad experience. Because even ushers have not been trained to actually communicate. I usually make people laugh. There is one particular church where we go, and people have been forced and trained to communicate a gesture of kindness. They say when you are receiving visitors, put on a full set of your dental formula. You're welcome to CPM Church. Welcome to CPM Church. Then when you look, when the cameras go up, they go back. When the lights come back, and they are very good performers, but they only have outward conformity, but they don't have inward transformation. And that's the most dangerous thing, when people conform on the outside, but they've never gotten an inside change. Life skills help us that even inside can transform. Communication. Your words should never contradict with your body actions. Let me also say this. You will see that in life skills. The words we say only carry 7% of your message. These words. 7%. We call the verbal communication. And then the tone of voice carries 38%. No wonder you can talk to your husband, those who are married. Tom, where are you going? Hey, I'm going there to check on my friends. And another one changes the tone. Where are you going? And the information totally changes. How the information changed? The tone changed everything. Some of you would be polite, but they never taught you how to be polite. You grew up maybe with a stepmother, every other thing was here. Come here, you fool, come here. And so that's a tone that you picked from childhood. Even when you are over the phone call, sometimes I call my church members, my sons, using a different line, maybe from office. And somebody is extremely rude. Who are you? Why are you calling me? And what do you want? And then I say, I'm Patrick. Patrick, who? Who? And I'm Patrick. I'm going to switch you off. Tell me, who are you? And then later on, I say, I'm Patrick Chizito. Patrick Chizito, who? Hey, I'm Patrick Chizito. Musumba. Oh, Musumba, please forgive. Oh, you should have told me you are Musumba. Eh? So that means you mistreat other people. Eh? But let us be polite to all people. You never get to know whom you're responding to. So that falls under the category of communication. Then other people are assertive. We sit in a church, they don't understand the concept. They raise up your hand and say, Musumba, I have not understood you. I didn't understand that. Very assertive. Just put up their hand and say, no, I've not understood. And they will explain to you. When we were still little boys, our pastor had a struggle with a wife. And we saw them on the verge of getting divorced. We were in senior 4. Me, my colleague, 4 of us, mobilized ourselves to go and counsel Musumba. We walked in his office. We knocked and said, Bishop, we want to talk to you. We sat in the corner. All of us, we started clearing our throats. I looked at you. And then later on, we presented our issue. We are seeing you with mommy like this, like this. Explain. We are very assertive boys. By the time we left, the guy said, hey, these boys, we only gone with counseling, senior 4. Now for you are finished even senior 6 in the university, you can't even confront that man. You go, talk to him, don't fear. That is being assertive. Then passive people sit in a place and say, whatever happens, let it happen. They even conclude, I saw those things happening. I saw it coming. I saw that church going to fall. I saw. I saw that sister going to collapse. I saw. But they never acted. It's a dangerous position to be a passive person. Then aggressive people. Some people even say, my culture, we speak the way it is. We speak. It's a culture when you have not gone through life skills. We cover some things. We don't speak the way they are. Even if you're coming from which culture, there is a way politely we say certain things. We don't just blah. That's part of life. Nga wakirabye. Then what? Okay. So life skills help you to communicate better. Then empathy. There are two words in English: sympathy and empathy. Sympathy, I feel sorry for the street children. I feel sorry they're on the street. And then I drive off and I go. But empathy makes me stop my car and say, what's the problem? Your age deserves to be in school. Where are your parents? Can I call them? And as I leave them maybe a 20K. Go and have a meal. Make sure you eat a meal. Don't give this money to somebody who brought you on the street. You know, they also have marketeers. You give them a 20K, then they also tithe a 20%, then another 10%, and then only eat 1,000 and you give them a 20K. Then negotiation skills. And those are found in the marketplace. People don't know them. People don't know how to negotiate. Interpersonal relationships, coordinating with others. I think that falls in the same category as friendship formation. Then cooperation, resisting peer pressure. That's a whole topic of its own. Peer pressure is everywhere, including adults. Even pastors have peer pressure. I had Chiganda preaching, and he went for some conference, and the guys, and he described, waliwo obuuma akuuma n'aguuma. The meaning curse. Now, when he came and packed his small dinner car, and someone was powerful, he had preached, if he had to go back after the guys had packed big cars, he made sure everyone first goes and looks around when nobody's seeing, and then go to his car and read. That is pastoral peer pressure. Pastoral peer pressure. And we need to outgrow that as we teach young people to outgrow their peer pressure. As adults, we must also outgrow peer pressure. We pastored people for 7 years when in our new church plant, and I didn't have a car. My colleague was so disturbed why a full pastor doesn't have a car. And it wasn't part of the priorities then. I wanted to, we're just a young family trying to establish. But every other day, I said, but you need to have a car. Esteem and pleasure was which car. Now, after buying a car, then it goes in this which car. So peer pressure. Young people also. My girls attend an international school, and there was a time they came back home and they put on me pressure. Everybody has a rolling bag. I am not going back with this bag of just carrying. When reaching the compound, everybody puts their bag. And those guys have 2 bags, 1 bag for eats, 1 bag for books, and they are rolling them coming to school. And I told my girls, we only carry 1 bag has books and your eats. We are complete. And just imagine your daughter surviving in such an environment. And then kids wear these new sneakers, Nike, and then they come and ask you names you didn't even wear in your time. And then you try to Google which, you check the dollars they are selling the shoes and say, that one is full school fees. Yes. I say, whatever daddy can afford for you to attend this good school, that's enough. Live with it and be content. The big girl has picked it. The other ones are still struggling. So sometimes she sits them and says, Jed, whatever daddy has, that's enough for us. Now they want to be in the skating club, it is $600. Swimming club, swimming is free. And then they want to be in ballet dance, $600. And then the other day my daughter comes and says to me, do you know my friend Skylar? She is in all the 6 clubs. I got $600 and I multiply by 6. How much money is that? That is selling my land for 1 term. So I told them, we're not paying for skating. We're not paying for But you will swim because it's free to be in the school club. You'll swim and enjoy that. And so peer pressure still exists even today. Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And that's why we need friends on the journey of life. Your relationships shape your destiny. Have I been too fast? Your communication bridges, your communication build bridges. Silence build walls. Peer pressure tests character, but values protect character. Those are some of the skills that you need to remember. That relationships shape destiny. Some of us are better because God by chance brought the right people in our lives. Around senior 4, I bumped into a team of young people who had a destiny. They wanted to serve. They were passionate. I had been from a Baptist church where life hadn't happened well for me. I was looking for a longing, a community where I belong. And I had not received it where I had gone. So I come to this local church, and we meet there with my colleagues. One of them, Joram, another one, Joseph. Banpo must be knowing those guys. Josman, Wilbur, and then another one was called Bob. I meet them. We come in this church, and their church was free, open. You know, God just by chance made me bump into these guys. When I interacted with them, one of the guys was from a boarding school, and he didn't want to go to boarding school. He was going for HSC, doing PCM technical drawing. I was also going to Colorado doing PCM fine art. So we all of a sudden found a link to join to make us friends. PCM. One technical drawing, I'm doing art. Then the other guy had finished school and the other. And so we formed up and said, can we join the worship team? We joined the worship team to sing with the guys. They fired us for not having voices. So we said, okay, the worship team has chased us, but there is a band, a music band. We went to the music band. They also chased us for not having voices. And then we said, can't we form a team of people who don't have voices? Manya the younger people, so we formed a team of people who don't know how to sing. The first time they gave us an opportunity to sing, the beat knocked us, we knocked it, it knocked us, we knocked it. We left when everybody was laughing, but at least the journey had started. Now self-esteem is growing, some skills. So we sat down and said, what can somebody do to learn singing? Somebody told us you drink these raw eggs in the morning. We tried them, it didn't work. Somebody told us you run up and down. There is a hill where we used to run, didn't work. And then somebody told us there is a secret, praying and singing. Zealous as we are, we slept in church for 3 full years. From Monday to Sunday, every night, we had a night to meet and to practice. And finally, the thing worked, and we learned how to sing and do music. Before we knew it, we were already recording. And before we know it, we were on a trip to go and sing abroad. And before we knew it, we were in the Netherlands recording our first music. And that's the journey to music and then ending up into pastoral work that we are doing now today. But I wanted to say, it just took just me meeting just only those 4 guys, and it shaped the entire future of my life. Communication builds bridges. Silence builds what? Walls. Peer pressure tests character, but values protect character. So choose friends wisely, speak kindly, and listen actively. I'm about to conclude. Then we looked at empathy. Empathy allows us to understand others. Negotiation allows us to resolve conflicts. Cooperation allows us to build together. Peer pressure is a critical survival skill in adolescence. It is better to stand alone in truth than to walk with a crowd in error. Then we go to the last, I think, one of the second last categories, skills of living with the environment. There are only 2 that I want us to look at. There are only 2. One of them is general hygiene, and then the last one is conservation. Young people must learn responsibility towards their surroundings. General hygiene. First go back. Go back. General hygiene. So we talk to young people. As you go to these schools, sometimes the preaching is good, but you just need to start with the general basics of what you have found in the community. Bawanika emikono ngwegana kudduka buddusi ngubo basuzeewa. People don't smell well, don't brush, don't iron. The shoe laces cannot be tied. So untidy. The teachers gave up on them. Even the teacher himself has no any skill. They wear a shoe. You look at the teacher, I can't inspire you. And then me, I start from there. Sometimes you get a session with the teachers and just talk to the teacher. Personal profiling. Even us here, profile yourself better. And even when you are single, that's again where you need more profiling. When you're single, that's when you need even to be privacy. So general hygiene, and then we look at conservation. People eat and throw anyhow. They give them water bottles and they throw them anyhow. That's a place for us to address as a ministry as we go out to preach. Look at the school, so littered and having young people. One of the ongoing battles I always have with my girls is just leaving things the way they are. Finish the dining, leave it untidy, go to your bedroom, you haven't laid, every other thing is disconnected. And I want them to learn hygiene and conservation. So the ongoing journey is making sure they pick that. Being good stewards, even with cars. Some of us who drive, somebody goes with popcorn throwing everywhere. When you have popcorns in your car, cockroaches are regular visitors in your car. I borrowed a friend's car and cockroaches were entering me like bed bugs. And I said, yes, because people don't know conservation. Give me that. Genesis 2:15. The Lord took man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to take care of it. Cleanliness reflects discipline. Conservation reflects stewardship. When we conserve things, it reflects stewardship, that we are good stewards of the places. You visit primary schools where young people visit a toilet and they write with the, how can we remember you for such a bad gesture? That falls under conservation. Young people don't know. They do very nasty things. Reflects stewardship. Yes. Even us, they give you a gadget. You look at how you handle your phone. When you pull it out, all cracked, crack, crack, crack. How you manage things falls under conservation, stewardship. Yeah. The gadget is so old. When they ask you, how old is it? 1 year. Me, I've held a laptop for 4 years. It's still new. There. When I drove my first car for 7 years, I went back and I sold it less by 800,000 from the price I bought it. I made sure every day there was an askari who washes it at work and an askari who washes it at home, and kept sparkling clean so that when I took it to the market, the guys were fighting to buy it. Minus the servicing that you give. It's part of conservation. Keeping things. Part of keeping, a nature of keeping things. Even when I borrow somebody's item, I want to take it back totally different from how I took it from them. Totally new, so that they can look at it and say, is this our place? And totally new. That is part of conservation. When we went to plant a church in Lunguja, there was a house. They called it a house of ghosts, that the owner ran away because ghosts were making noise in that house. So when we came in as a church, they gave us the house. We took in intercessors. They prayed. The demons left. And we gave it to church boys who would come around church to sleep, and they would sleep for free. And we renovated the house. We made it more beautiful. And the owner later came back and said, the demons have left. Pastor, give us our house. We gave the house. It looks better than when we had received it many years ago. Are you a good steward? Ask your neighbor, are you a good steward of the things you get? There are people who are stewards that even when they are finished using a dress, their dress looks new. When they give it to you, you feel as if it is just new. They keep things well. And it's a part of a skill to keep things well. where every electrical that lands in your hands is dead in 1 year. Dead. Everything dies. Either the phone falls in water or it falls on the store. Your things are just like that because that skill was never given. And tonight, as you go through life skills, may you pick that skill. Tell your neighbor, may you pick that skill. Conservation. It's a skill of conservation, being a good steward. I work for Scripture Union, and there are electrical items I have kept for Scripture Union for 7 years. For example, there is a piano I use for my school's work, was given to my department. Every other piano they'll buy in the ministry works for only 2 years and is spoiled. Mine is this year it's 8 years. I am still using it. Then one day they insisted, you also have a public speaker, a small speaker. Please give it to us. We need it to take it to school. I said, when I give it to them only 1 week, it will be spoiled. They insisted. They even went to the country and said, Musumba is so hard. We need. They took it. When they returned, it was in tatters. And I said, didn't I tell you? They can't steward things. It is a skill that you keep learning and learning to be a good keeper of things. Are we together? And then people begin to learn from you. That guy, when he keeps things, they are safe in his hands. They are safe. You're a good steward. Let's clap for Jesus. Clean hands protect health. Clean surroundings protect community. Environmental awareness builds responsibility beyond self-interest. So clean surroundings protect community. I'm glad CPM Church, when I look around here, I've not seen any litter. Any litter. Musumbalante skill. For us, when we're learning life skills, when you drink water, you are even forced to pocket the seal of mineral water into your pocket until you find the dusty bin. That's how life skills are. You pocket it. So that when they look around, they say, somebody didn't have life skills here. When they look around, they say, which people were here? Those guys are well trained in life skills. They keep the environment clean. I have visited a few countries in my time. I visited Holland, and they took us to a dolphinarium stadium. That seats about 1,000 people. We had gone to watch dolphins. You know dolphins? Those they're like fish. They do act. And in that stadium, there was a lot of drinks and eats. They were serving things in poly bags and were eating, drinking 1,000 people. And when the show was over, people left the place. We were still waiting for somebody to pick us. Left the place, and I looked at the entire stadium, and you could not see any litter. Very sparkling clean, where 1,000 people had sat. No litter. Now I said, come to Uganda, go to Nkuka when that's happened in the night and people ate in the night. At Nkuka here in Kabaka's land, and see the garbage and the litter. We need to go and change a generation, don't we? And change begins with us. I get angry when a good man is driving a nice car. After drinking water, he throws the bottle behind me, and then he eats gonja, then throws the kavera. And then every other thing of him is out, 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 out. And then after throwing, he also gets out his mouth and spits. Where are life skills? Where are life skills for behavior change? People totally don't have them. I keep pocketing everything that I make sure that my girls can be able to copy me at least. If me and my girls can do it, then we can begin to change and influence the world with better values. And I'll be strict on them. No littering in the car. In fact, you hear them quarreling with their friends when I've given them money. No littering in daddy's car. No littering in daddy's car. Then I pick that. That is, they have littered again in the car. It's not me. It's not me. But let me pick. They have littered. Because I want that campaign to go on and be part of their DNA. And then they will leave it and they'll be good stewards. Growing up, I remember my dad quarreling with us. That was my daddy's quarrel. He wanted hygiene. And my dad had been raised by a grandmother who was a medical doctor. And they were very strict in hygiene to the extent that when they would lay white bed sheets for him, this is what my dad would say. In the night, you first take away the white bed sheets, sleep on the dry mattress, then in the morning he puts back the white bed sheets. So that Jaja, when he comes to inspect, the bed sheets have to be white the way they laid them on. If they were not white, that means you slept when you have not showered. Now, human beings, even when you have showered, you have some degree of that. But Jaja would be strict that you are clean. So my dad grew up with that kind of strictness. You must be clean. And so it is passing on to the generation. You must, part of conservation. Life skills for decision making. Life is a series of choices. Destiny is shaped by what? Decisions. In fact, you make one decision and you finish the entire future. Just one wrong one. And the whole future is gone. Decisions. I have a friend of mine, is now a pastor. When he was still a teenage boy, he went to work as a shamba boy in a rich man's home. And while he was in a rich man's home, I usually tell this story to young people when I'm teaching moral purity and make them laugh. And when he was there, this rich man had bought a beautiful house girl to also work. This is a shamba boy, this is a house girl. They are two working in the same place. They were eyeing each other, eyeing each other, eyeing each other, eyeing each other. Then one day, say, I hear you. The man was going for safari, and he told them, you are in charge of the house. Shamba boy, take care of the outside. House girl, take care of the inside. So yeah, we are very good. So he picked his briefcase, he thinks, off. He was going with madam. The house was for the shamba boy and the... When he drove off, these guys didn't wait. Shamba boy entered the main house, took some juice, became the big man, ate some food, and before they knew it, they're in the living room. They undressed themselves. And the man had forgotten an important diary. He drove back quickly to come and pick it. There gets electric. You press a remote, it opens. So he opens for himself, and as he gets into the house, he meets the shamba boy versus the girl. Got very tough on them, but he forgave them for not to lose their jobs. I told them, this should never happen again. And as he picked his diary, he changed his mind. I'm going out with the house girl so that I leave the shamba boy. So they went with the house girl and they were there for 1 week. Just imagine a shamba boy and the house girl alone for 1 week. But when they came back from the trip a month later, the house girl was falling sick. And they decided to go and do a medical test just to discover the house girl was HIV positive. Just one wrong decision. This guy is now a pastor in Entebbe. And he keeps sharing his story. Just one decision like this, that one night, that one just evening, he had finished his life. Skills of decision making. Be careful as we make decisions because they shape this destiny. So here we talk about decision making, problem solving, critical thinking, and creative thinking. Those form the core of the skill of decision making. Some people don't know that problem solving skill. They keep postponing decision making for the future. And one of the things you're going to help young people not to postpone decision making for the future. Has to be made now. Some people are actually hired as managers to make tough decisions for companies. We make companies. Some of us who are fathers, we make decisions. Some decisions work in our favor. Some decisions backfire. We lose money. About 4 months ago, as a father, I was introduced to a business deal. It looked very good. I didn't want to tell my wife because a little risky, a little looking to make money. So I get in my money, put in there, and I made some profits for week 1. We were earning per week. And then I told Madam, man, I found a deal. This business works. She also invests. But I ate money. Put in. No sooner had we put in, the things flopped. Now I had recruited my friends and my friends' friends and my friends and we all lost money. Sometimes that's how things are. We sometimes make things that backfire. But before you backfire, first do some critical thinking about what you're about to enter. It's a skill. We sometimes rush. We want to make decisions rushing, but yet you can also do some background check. The same buying land. Some people just rushingly, as a father, you buy land before you know it, you are bought an empty thing. And as you go to clear the ground to build, you discover you don't have an asset there. A small decision today can shape a great destiny tomorrow. Read for me the last two. Critical. Another one. Yeah. There are people who are so rigid that creative thinking skill has never come. A pastor has always sat here. Can't change. No, here. You can try some change. Hey, for those of you who are married, women are when you get a creative person, they are fond of changing. Then I walk into the bedroom and it has changed from where it used to face, and I'm like, what has happened? And I'm not used to say, dear, now when the person is here, the next day person is here, another day. Yeah, we keep shifting. There must be change in life. Life is full of changes. And I'm really struggling to adjust to a change, but the change has already come. So creative thinking opens new possibilities. As we finish tonight, think clearly, choose wisely, and act responsibly. Give me another slide. Okay. Give me another. I'm just finishing. Yes, there. Life skills provide young people with the ability to handle everyday demands, from emotional challenges to informed decisions. This thing called life skills, from emotional challenges to informed decisions. Life skills can turn knowledge into action. They can turn intention into discipline. They can turn potential into performance. You will notice that life skills have moved you from a point of reaction to reflection, from a point of weakness to a point of strength, and from the point of confusion to a point of clarity. This thing called life skills. Let your behavior be refined by character, be strengthened, and destiny be secured because you have gone through life skills. So I've just done an overview of what we are going to do in the details right now. Let's clap for ourselves. We're done well. Okay, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to get reflections. If the workshop ended here, what are you going back home with? Yes.
Let me start with a testimony.
Mm,
The first life skills you had in CPM, the first time I really met you,
yes.
that thing of littering.
Mm,
It was my first time hearing it, and I can tell you it has never left me.
mm,
Everywhere I go, even when I'm anywhere, even if it's a supermarket or a party, and I get a bottle of water, I always don't litter the plastic seal they put,
yes.
and I always pick up bottles.
Mm,
Even here at church, there are some people who at times forget,
yes.
but I take it upon myself to say, but no, this is not right. So
Mm,
I would say that really life skills, it is something that really impacts and changes one's life.
mm,
Amongst all the things you have shared today, maybe what I concentrated on was the decision making,
mm,
which we shall go into detail.
mm,
But I've realized that decisions indeed can impact us in so many ways.
mm,
You can try to postpone making a decision, but something I've learned does not change the outcome, or it won't change maybe the issue that is there.
mm,
So maybe from what I've had right now is that decision making is very important, but also life skills. Really, really, we need life skills to help us make the right one. because you talked about critical thinking and being creative. If you're going to be a person who's making decisions in life, which you always do, you have to have the aspect of critical thinking and you have to be creative. That is what
We live in a creative world. Actually, one of these days, salary earners, you can't earn one salary and survive. You must be extremely creative. To live in this economy, you must be creative. Think beyond that. And create opportunities, create avenues where income flows all the time. And even church looks for creative people. If a church is going to go ahead, we need creative people in ICT, we need creative people in music. The same song sung the way our fathers sang it. Give us a new vibe. Change the way, change the rhythm a little bit. And bring life to something which has been old. That's why people sing the hymns again and they sing it in a new version and they feel, oh, there is a new fresh breath of this hymn being sung. But when you meet the fathers of those hymns, the way they sing them, they even does it, their choruses. Immortal, invisible, immortal. You can sing the same and bring life again to that. So it's about that creative. Yes, creative thinking. I think through, even us in public speaking, I discovered in public speaking, information expires every other 5 months, 6 months. I change presentation slides. What I'm giving you now, when you meet me 3 months later, I'll be having a totally different presentation. Those who attended life skills, totally what I have presented today is totally different from what I presented last year. Information expires. And when you think, it's going to teach us the same old things, man, information is changing. We are living in an explosion of knowledge. There's so much knowledge in our time. And so there is need for a skill of creative thinkers, content creators, animators. I'm into content creation and animation. But we need a changing world to impact our world. So creative thinkers, where are you? We need you. That's a skill that we want to see you doing. Yes, this community. Can I hear something? That was our introduction, yes. The online community want to hear you.
I reflected so much on stewardship. At times in ministry, we find ourselves not being good stewards. I remember some time back, I think I'm not a good steward these days. I remember some time back, I used to rush for ministry, even when it was raining, even when it was too much, when there was too much sunshine. But these days, I think, I don't know what came over me. So when you talked about being good stewards or stewardship, when you talked about it, I had to think about it more, that I really need to be a good steward again. Not only in ministry, but in even other things. Sometimes we take things for granted. We do not do things the way we are supposed to do them. When it is working time, you're a good steward. But ministry-wise, we are not. You go late in church. When there is any programs in church, you just go for granted because no one will be like, you go away, don't come back. So I think I've thought about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any other? Give him.
First of all, sir, thank you so much. I've really learned a lot. You know, a couple of times we think we know so much. I'm one of the people that read a lot. I love it a lot. The point where I even I love making research, but I've challenged me. You have humbled me that I know nothing. shareholders because the project is so. But in my heart, there was this lady that has money. But my heart was hesitant. I was like, no, I don't think I should make this one. But I went ahead and talked to her. And she accepted to invest even more than I desired. But I lost peace till today. Now, when you spoke about that, I think I'm going to go back and because one simple decision, honestly, seriously, it can cost you a lot. Her character is not not necessarily that. Secondly, you talked about stewardship, and I'm a lame person when it comes to that. Littering all over, you are glad because this would be all over. One time, my wife was away for about 2 months. I wish you came to my house and saw everything was a mess. Bottles of water were everywhere. Saucepans were under the bed. In the bedroom. I'm telling you facts. Yes, honestly, even up to now, I don't think I'm a good steward. That you can give me something and I keep it for you, and I bring it back as you gave it to me. It's quite hard, and I think that's a place where I should actually focus on and grow in with your guidance, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Patrick. It's not my first time to listen to Patrick, but I always get excited when you get to the floor. I've learned so many things today, but I will talk about only two. One is on communication. You talk passionately about being assertive and a group which is passive. And you say that it's always good to be assertive, to let people know what you want or what needs to be done, and not to be passive, to just let things be. Now, that has been me. But